it's so crazy because I wake up and how I go about life. Obviously, you know what I mean. We got our normal life schedule, but
Of course.
everything that I do is revolved around music. You know what I mean? Like
I
I'll
love
be at
that.
work and I do this or doing it. Like it's been that way for 6 years. You know what I mean? I feel like I've just like, I don't know, just mentally made it. Like I already made it. We just ain't got it yet. You know what I
I
mean?
see what
We're
you're saying.
premature millionaires. You know what I mean? It's just like how it's just
Like
we already,
you surrounded yourself.
you know what I mean? So I try to just literally give everything to this. Like you'll never catch it. Like sometimes my friends will be around like, oh, let's get this dirt bike to work on or let's do that, and I'm just like, yo, I have no interest in really anything else.
Right.
Like I just wanna just
I'm the same way,
pursue
bro.
my music. You know what I mean? And become further in that and anything that helps that. You know what I mean? So that's why I do the T-shirts and so on and so forth because you know what I mean. That comes around full circle.
Welcome to the Everything and Anything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything. And I'm your host, Frank.
And I'm your host, Uzi.
And today we got Chach in the building.
Chach, the legend.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
The
We
legend.
appreciate you coming through, bro.
Yeah,
For
bro.
real.
Yeah, you're extremely talented, bro.
Thank you, bro.
I feel like you got your foot in the door. You know, you're rising up, and we just wanted to do this interview because we just wanted to shine a little bit of light on you. You have a lot of recognition. You know, like you just had a favorite hip hop album of the year.
Yes, man.
We got to talk about that.
Congratulations.
A little bit. Yeah.
But let's get right into it. You know,
Yeah,
so what clicked in your mind that you wanted to do music and specifically the hip hop and rap genre?
So I've always loved music. I feel like it's just a feeling, you know what I mean? Like whether you're listening to music or you're creating music or whether you're just DJing, you know what I mean? There's just so many different aspects of it, but I've always just loved the feeling it gave me, you know what I mean? Just hearing stories and then the beats and everything like that. So how I chose the rap hip hop lane, my mom, I'm sure if they go back to all my other interviews, Jay-Z is my mom's favorite artist of all time.
Okay.
So
Mine too. He's one of the goats, man. Like
mine as well, and obviously came from that. But
he's a game changer.
Exactly. So I think just growing up, you know what I mean, hearing her cleaning the house or cooking dinner, and just always having Hov or being in the car and her popping in the brand new CD, the new album that came out, you know what I mean, and just understanding and consistently hearing the vocals, and I just grew the love for the art of music and storytelling. And
Was this early 90s or late 90s Jay-Z or like early 2000s Jay-Z?
it was a little bit of everything, you know what I mean, like anywhere from Reasonable Doubt to I remember when Kingdom Come came out, you know what I mean? So, and everything in between.
Oh, dope.
So I was definitely, she was hip playing everything, and then I was getting older because I was born in '99. So I was getting a little older and starting to become a little more hip to what music was dropping because I had older sisters as well. So they would put me onto certain albums that are dropping or certain songs that were popping. And
that was a
watching
beautiful
MTV.
time. That was a beautiful time. MTV was up and coming, and all these rap and R&B was on the rise. And not that it wasn't before. It's just like they had like a really golden era. I feel like just in general, it was just like dope.
Like we said earlier, you won favorite hip hop album of the year.
Yeah, tell us about that. When did you get the award? How did you go about doing that?
That was dope, actually. Shouts to Motif. They put, it's like an annual ceremony together every single year, and they just pretty much shout out a lot of dope artists. And last year, I think I got nominated for a couple things, and I didn't end up winning, but it was still a dope situation. And then this year, I got nominated, and we ended up taking it home. So just grateful and blessed. So appreciate.
That's really cool.
Everybody who supported and everybody who kind of had you know what I mean, a hand in voting and just kind of appreciating the product that we put out. So
of course,
absolutely. Does that encourage you to do more albums?
It does for sure, because it makes me feel that like albums and projects are. I feel like we live in a day and age where the singles are popping. You know
That's
what I mean?
what I was gonna say. EPs and singles.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So being able to put a project together that people love, and they can listen to from start to finish, and it's timeless. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what I grew the love for music for. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
I feel like I'll never stop doing that.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Who else was on it? Who else got nominated?
So to be honest, what I got nominated for was an album called The Intermission, and usually when I make
That's your last album, right?
that was the
Okay.
last one. Yeah, when I make bodies of work, I usually like to get in my own creative zone. You know what I mean? Because I don't really like to have any outside influence or anything. I like to kind of just be locked in on my own tip. You know what I mean? So for this one particularly, it was a little different because every single joint that I had on there, I had sent to some of my favorite artists in the state, and
Okay.
so I had either sent them a beat or I had told them like, oh, if you want, send me a beat, send me a project, send me a body of work, and we'll put it together. And I've gotten every single song on that project is accompanied by somebody of
Collaboration.
collaboration.
That's
Somebody
so
one of
cool.
my most you know what I mean. I'm either inspired by them or some of my favorite artists from the city.
And
so
the
it's
city,
dope.
I feel like, is just so awesome. Like, as far as, like, there's so much talent in Providence, I feel like,
Absolutely.
in general. In New England, in general, you know, everything from Boston to Hartford. There's so much talent out there, I feel like.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
So
Cool.
where does your lyrics come from? Like, how do you approach every song that you're about to create?
Yeah, what's your writing process? What's your center point? How do you start writing a song?
a lot of it comes from freestyling. I like to freestyle a lot, and then like 9 times out of 10, like I'll freestyle for hours and hours on a beat, and I might say something that's hot, and I'll be like, oh, that's where I kind of want to set it off. You know what I mean? And then I'll use that something that I freestyled, maybe tweak it a little bit, and then build from there. Now I got that bar, and then just kind of go from there, bar for bar, and just keep writing.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, I feel like freestyling is not for everybody. It's tough to to arrange words, to not necessarily have to rhyme, but to make it make sense at the top, like off the top. That's hard, bro.
I don't know how you guys do it, both of you, because Frankie's a rapper too, so you
But,
gotta
but
have to like
freestyling,
oh my
freestyling,
God, bro, it's so difficult.
it's still
bro.
hard for me because
It is, it's
I don't
tough.
do it enough. But once you do it a lot, I think you become more accustomed to like.
But and it's like shooting in the gym, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
every shot you shoot is not gonna go in, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're gonna go for layups you wouldn't
That's a
normally
good
go
way.
for in a game, you know what
I
I
like
mean?
how you put that.
Right.
So it's just repetition, you know what I mean? And then just trying to stay on point. And yeah, of course, when it comes to freestyling, nobody I feel like is. I mean, Trap Black is. Shouts to Trap
Yeah.
Black. I don't know if you guys know
Yeah,
him, but
yeah.
he is the illest freestyler that I've ever witnessed with my own two eyes in person. You know what I mean? Like he's really like that. He was on stage. Chip brought him on stage, and was just handing him different objects, and he was rapping in
What?
in
Oh,
the crowd.
wow.
And it was fire. Like somebody got it on recording, but it was just seamless. Like he wrote it. You know what I mean? It was
Wow.
just dope. But yeah, other than that, you know what I mean? You'll have a phenomenon that's like that, but other than that, it's just, I feel like it's just kind of practicing and getting comfortable with what you want to do, you know what I mean? So that's how I start writing. I feel like, I don't know, I can't really speak for everybody, but
Yeah.
I feel like just trying a bunch of things, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
trying things and trying different bars and trying different flows and bringing your pitch up and bringing it down, like so freestyling on a beat. I'll do a bunch of that, and then if I find something that I like, I'm like, oh, this is the pocket that I'm going in for that song. You know what I mean? This is kind of what I like, or let me try to go with this flow, or so. Yeah, I pretty much set it off with a quick little freestyle, or just you know what I mean, just try to dabble on a beat.
Have
for a while.
ideas out. That's really cool, man. I like that creative flow. Everybody has a different creative flow. You
Yeah,
know what
for
I mean?
sure.
Yeah, bro. And it's all about reference points too. You know what I'm saying? Where you get your inspiration from. You know?
Most definitely.
Yeah, yo.
Absolutely. Is your goal to make it in the music industry, or you just want your audience to listen to your art?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I feel like the position that I'm in right now, I'm trying to take it as far as we can with it. You know what I mean? And that's just because we don't want to. I feel like I don't want to look back and feel like there was some stones unturned. You know what I mean? I feel like I could have did a couple things, or like maybe I didn't give it my all. So I feel like the position that I'm in right now, yeah, it's so crazy because I wake up and how I go about life. Obviously, you know what I mean? We got our normal life schedule, but
Of course.
everything that I do is revolved around music. You know what I mean? Like
I
I'll
love
be
that.
at work and I do this or doing it. Like it's been that way for 6 years. You know what I mean? I feel like I've just like, I don't know, just mentally made it like I already made it. We just ain't got it yet. You know what I mean?
I see what
We're
you're saying.
premature millionaires. You know what I mean? It's just like how it's just we
like
already,
you surrounded yourself.
you know what I mean? So I try to just literally give everything to this. Like you'll never catch it. Like sometimes my friends will be around like, oh, let's get this dirt bike to work on, or let's do that, and I'm just like, yo, I have no interest in really anything else.
Right.
Like I just wanna just
I'm the same way,
pursue
bro.
my music. You know what I mean? And become further in that and anything that helps that. You know what I mean? So that's why I do the T-shirts and so on and so forth because you know what I mean. That comes around full circle. You know what I mean? I want to pick up DJing this summer. You know what I mean? I want to do a couple. Yeah, I want to do a couple. You know what I mean? I want to just feel the vibe and just enjoy the music and just
DJing is where the money's at.
You know what I mean?
Man, I know a lot of DJs that roll serious cash, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and then as well as just for the love of it. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of, yeah.
You gotta do it these days too. Like you gotta be a man of many hats now.
You do.
You can't be like it wasn't like I say this a lot in our past episodes too with other artists. Like you can't be that one trick pony anymore.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be like if you're an instrumentalist, a musician like myself, you gotta do production, editing, play piano, play keys,
That's
play
a
bass,
fact.
buzz.
He's
You know
my
what I mean?
guy.
You get into editing, photo, video.
Exactly.
Get familiar with Fruit Loops. What is it?
Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, Cubase,
All
that.
of them.
That's a fact. Yeah, my guy Cam Bell, shouts to Cam. He was telling me that he was like, bro, a lot of people are caught up with trying to do one. So you're a lyricist and you're working on your lyrics, but say you're in a room with 15 different people and they don't need lyrics. They got enough lyricists. So it's like, all right, who can make beats? Who's the editor?
Right.
Who's on the engineers? You know what I mean? Who can shoot the podcast for us? You know what I mean? So it's like you're gonna be in a bunch of different rooms where
More opportunities.
there's way more opportunity. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting there like, oh, all I do is rap. You know what I mean? Like, dog, we don't need rappers. We got 6 rappers. You know what I mean? They're doing their thing. It's like, yo, I mean, I'd love to bring you on a team, but can you do anything else? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a fact. That's why I play piano, dabbling with the beats
okay.
myself. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to, and we did that thing earlier with FaZe. Shouts to FaZe. We ended up doing the first commercial, their 5-year anniversary. Make sure you're there, May 19th. The Water Fire Art Center, Performing Arts Center in Providence.
Oh, okay,
From 3 to 7, that's going to be dope. Yeah, they're having their 5th year anniversary. But I ended up pretty much doing, like, I wrote a little 16, and it went in a commercial. We were doing a little acting thing. It was dope.
So it's the commercial for that event.
For that event, you know what I mean? So it was dope. So I definitely want to take on acting as well. I want to add that to the, you know what I mean? I say all that to say that, so.
And we're not far from New York.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
At
a
all.
lot of huge modeling agencies and acting agencies out there in New York.
How important is consistency for you?
That's key. You know what I mean? I forgot who, I think it was Jim Jones, but he said if you can't stay motivated, you have to stay consistent. You know what I mean? Like consistency would bring your motivation. Like you have to stay consistent. You have to make sure that like you're keeping your sword sharp, because if not, and it comes time to go into battle and you ain't ready, it's like you caught, you know what I mean, with cold feet, and we can't let that happen, you know what I mean? Because if it comes down to us getting the call that we're looking for or waiting for, or we got to be on point. We gotta,
Absolutely, 100%.
We got to be on point and
You got to
consistent.
keep it going.
And nowadays, people are so caught up in, like, their attention span's quick, you know what I mean? We can't be mad at it, but everybody's quick. Everybody's looking at it like, all right, we're good. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to watch movies anymore. A 3-hour movie is 2.5-hour movies ridiculous, you know what I mean? But those are some of the best type of movies, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So nowadays, if people see you, you know what I mean, they might see you and keep you, you know what I mean, in the back of their head, but they're not going to pursue it, or they'll see you a second time, a third, or even the 10th or the 15th time, but then the 16th or the 17th time, they see you like, yo, this motherfucker is everywhere. This dude is everywhere, you know what I mean? And it's from being consistent. So it's, I get caught up with trying to stay, I'm always consistent, but I try to not put out as much music as I have, because I don't want my music to fall upon deaf ears. Like, I feel like this, we get 100,000 streams on a song in 1 year, and that's very good, but it's like, how many songs are going to get a lot less than that, and they're great records, you know what I mean? Like, some of my favorite records, I'm putting them out and nobody's hearing them because of how much I'm flooding, you know what I mean? Like, okay, Chach, we get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Opposed to putting it out, like, people waiting, like, oh,
And
and a little
that's
bit
why-
since Chach, you know what I mean? Then when he does, everybody's...
Yeah, and that's why you have to stay consistent, because then you have that moment. People recognize you, you get to a bigger platform, and then they go back at your previous artwork, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That record he put out in, like, 2019, fired.
Have you ever considered doing like rap battles and ciphers, like more often?
So I feel like that's the talk of the town now. Obviously, shouts to Drake. You know what I mean? He's shaking the industry up.
Yep.
Drake and Kendrick.
Yep.
Me coming up, that's been the art. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like that. I'm not saying I was a battle rapper, but it's always been a competitive state when it came
Yes.
down to hip hop. You know what I mean? Like even just banging on the lunch table. You know what I mean? Who's better? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you say you're the best. You know what I mean? Show me you're the best and show everybody else. You know what I mean? And if you can't do that, then shut up.
Right.
And that's kind of how it is. And it's all love. It's all love. I don't want to fight you over it. But at the end of the day, it's like in
Dog eats dog, man. You gotta be the top.
and it's
dog,
crazy
you know what
because
I'm saying?
I just seen this it was a small little clip of a Tom Brady interview and he was like, everybody wants to be everybody's friend nowadays. He was like, that's not the killer instinct.
Right.
Everybody wants to. He's like, how am I supposed to
I like that.
compete against you and then go to dinner right after? You know what I mean? How am I supposed to like willingly want to kill you if you're such a good friend of mine? You know what I mean? Tom Brady
Right.
was like, all these. He said maybe Peyton Manning. He said he went to dinner over a 26-year period. He went to dinner with Peyton Manning twice. You know what I mean? And he was
Wow.
like, and all these guys are going out to the bar and popping bottles and doing this and then going back to work on Monday thinking you're trying to demolish these people. Like,
Yeah.
nah, these are your friends, you know what I mean? But you have to have that killer mindset and killer instinct. And then he brought it back to, he said, I don't think Muhammad Ali was out here trying to hang with people.
Wow.
Mike
Right.
Tyson wasn't out here trying to hang with people. He was trying to take your head off. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that.
Joe Montana wasn't trying to chill with the next quarterback. Like he was trying to defeat you. You know what I mean?
Right.
To
Yep.
be the best, you got to be. You know what I mean? It got to be no outsiders. You got to be locked in.
Yep.
And if they're not on the train, they're getting ran over. And I seen that, and I'm like, yo, Brady really was a dog for that, and that's why
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the greatest quarterback of all time because he had that mindset.
Yep.
So
I was watching the Dream Team documentary on Netflix, and Kobe was like, really close with Paul, and he told the guys on the team, he's like, the first play, I'm running through
I seen
him.
that. Yep.
I'm running through him,
Fire.
and that's exactly what he did, bro.
And you know what I mean? Not everybody. It's a phenomenon. Like Kobe was able to flip it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was able to, and that's dope.
That's true. That's really cool, man.
So what has your experience been like opening up for artists, big artists like Locks and State Property?
It's been nothing but a blessing. I've been blessed to be able to. I've even gotten the opportunity and be able to showcase my talent because I'll catch myself in my store or like other places and they'll be like, oh, you be rapping, right? I seen you. I was at the Lock show.
Yeah.
I was at the Pusha T show and I seen you open. And I feel like the stigma for local artists or opening acts, unless you're like really a fan of the craft of the art, like you get swept under the rug. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like anybody's going there, like if the show starts at 10, you're there at 10:30, then you're not taking any consideration that there's gonna be openers as well to try to. And I don't blame you guys at all. You know what I mean? You guys are going there, so to hear people be like, "Oh, you were a dope open," you know what I mean?
Right. Still
I heard they
recognized,
recognize it.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, so it's not falling upon deaf ears. You know what I mean? So people
Right.
really are listening. So that was dope. It's always dope too.
It's definitely a good one. So do you like live performance over studio or vice versa, or you just like them both, or what's kind of your?
I don't mind either. I feel like I work very well under pressure, and that's just kind of how I move.
Spoken like a real life performer. I like
real.
that.
I mean, 100%.
I like that.
Yeah, I'll take any performance, you know what I mean?
And
any
studio.
type of- in studio, yeah. Getting there, we bang. Call me one take Chach, you know what I mean? We,
Oh.
yeah, we one take, nah. But for the most part, you know what I mean? And we don't like to compromise any quality either, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit there and try to one take the joint just because,
Of
you know what I
course.
mean? Because I know a couple of people that try to do that, but if it just comes down to working on your craft and working on your breath control and the pockets, so you can go in and out, and it's just part of the art and the practice,
Exactly.
you know?
You got to work your craft. You can't just do it just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a badge now. You got to work your craft.
Yeah.
Work to that.
Have you ever had an experience when you're performing and the audience is singing your lyrics with you?
Yeah, there was a
Dope.
couple joints.
How was
there
that
was a couple
feeling, bro?
joints. The hooks, you know what I mean? Finding that and then getting that interaction, it's dope. You know what I mean? Even
That's
the hands
awesome.
back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody pull your phone out.
Yeah.
When we've done the Strand, I told everybody pull their phone out. Everybody pulled their phone. It was either a phone or a lighter in it, and I'm like, oh shit, like I bad for swearing out.
No, it's okay.
Oh, no,
it's
no,
okay.
But I'm like,
No.
I'm like, oh shit, this is
It's all
crazy,
good,
like,
bro.
This is dope. You know what I mean? So it's definitely
That's definitely some
an
encouragement for you. Yeah.
Exactly, and like you said, it goes back to the motivation. It makes me just want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? So I feel like as long as I keep doing shows and dropping music and getting this reaction, and and not even really for the reaction, but I'm obviously always blessed and very grateful for it. But as long as I just keep doing that and keep getting that feeling, I can't see me really ever stop making music.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful, bro. You have to be passionate, bro. That has to drive you, man. How would you describe your music, your art in one word?
Timeless. I'd say timeless. I go back to a lot of my music, and although I obviously hear the growth, I feel like it's if I really wanted to go back and re-record those songs from 6-7 years ago, and like the same exact songs and the hooks and the verses, it could be just as relevant as today. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I'd say timeless.
Nice. There's 3 songs that I specifically like that are your original songs. It's 9-7-99.
Yep.
Never Enough.
Fire.
And Great.
Great. I like that one.
I listened to those 3 tracks and I'm like, damn, bro, these songs are powerful, bro. And I saw that T-Pain did like a reaction video.
Yeah.
To Great.
And
I had no idea.
And Kai Cenat, it was fire.
What?
Kai Cenat did?
Kai Cenat too, bro. That shit blew up after that, bro. Like, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's buck wild, bro.
Yeah.
So you say you do a lot of freestyle.
Yeah.
Spit me some 16 bars right now off the top. Put you on blast real quick.
Following up?
Go ahead.
You following up? I'm putting you right on the spot.
I don't know.
But yeah. So I mean, it's just been a dope run.
Really cool,
and
man.
Even just the freestyling art and creating music and writing music, like the So Prov challenge that I ended up doing. I wrote that. I was working at Foot Locker at the time. I wrote that in the back. You know what I mean? Just every time I would go grab a shoe for somebody, I'm sitting there just throwing the beat on, just trying to, you know what I mean, writing one bar, then going back.
I love
helping
that.
the customer, going back. You know what I mean? Just sitting there and throughout the time, just I ended up. And that's just me finding every minute that I can, you know what I mean, throughout the day. And I'm not going to say that I don't have any minutes to slip through the crack. There's a shit ton of minutes that I feel like I have to take advantage of that I don't.
Yep.
And things that I have to do. But for the most part, as far as like the mental, I feel like there's always a bar going through my head, or there's always what's the next step or the next music video, or trying to build a treatment or something like that. So
I like that.
Is it important for you to get the visual in the music videos for what you're trying to say in the song?
yes, and shouts to I Like Thursdays, because he is he's been impeccable with doing
What does he do? Who's that?
He's the videographer. So that
Dope.
I pretty much do
Shout out.
everything that I've done, directing everything as well. You know what I mean? Although I do write a lot of my storylines. You know what I mean? He brings the angles and everything back to life. So it's dope. We have good chemistry. You know what I mean? I feel like really anything is seamless if the chemistry's there. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? The energy,
Yeah, it has
you
to be, bro.
can't really dodge that. So
I tell people like videographers are a huge part of the music video because they're representing your image and how you look and everything, like down to the story and everything. You know, sometimes they don't get the proper acknowledgments, but yeah. Back to that freestyle, bro. No pressure. No,
for
pressure.
sure. I mean,
No pressure.
we're gonna do the acoustic.
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's gonna be
A little
fire.
later, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
100%.
dope. Looking forward to it, man. So, what age did you start? Would you say early, teenage years? What was kind of the starting point?
So me really taking the music serious and writing, I was probably like 15 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, probably 15, 16, and that's writing, not putting it out at all, because I was just writing, just trying to like write every day, just not even knowing how to even compose a full song. You know what I mean? Like an actual song, like, oh, what even is a hook? What's a bridge? You know what I mean? And then just writing. You know what I mean? Like, I've not even knowing what bars were. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or a bar just 100 bars on a paper and they were all garbage, and then just
Yeah.
you know what I mean, just trying to decipher those and then taking those to school and showing everybody like, yo, I'm the nicest, and they would agree, and I'm like, oh, these shits is garbage back then. I'm sitting there like thinking that they were the best, and I'm hearing them now and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it, is just finding the growth, you know what I mean, finding the growth in things and then
Do you ever
capitalizing.
Do you ever look back at your first performance and then at your last performance? Like,
Yeah, they're
compare them?
actually, I think they're on YouTube as well. And my first performance, I was rapping over my own lyrics. You know what I mean? Like that's just how far we've came.
Yeah.
Like hip hop, you can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta be real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. You have to have the instrumental rocking, and then you know what I mean. Show the crowd what you got. Breath Control. Shouts to Jadakiss. You know what I mean? The Jadakiss and the Dipset, their versus battle. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Not the recent one.
It was probably like a year or two ago, a year and a half. I don't know how long, but yeah,
Mm.
they ended up doing a versus battle.
Mm.
Jada Styles, they're sitting there freestyle. I'm not freestyling, but they're sitting there rapping over the instrumental, and then Dipset just can't even hear them because they're over the lyrics. You know what I mean? So it's like tough to balance the hip hop at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever freestyle on any of your songs and then it stayed on the track?
What do you mean by that?
Like, let's say you went into the booth and you didn't really have any bars written down. You just started freestyling, and then you went and started writing, and then some of the bars that you did spit, you kept them on the track.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's times I'll just be like, oh, let me get it in and record it, and for the most part, I probably won't use that recording. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the type to like to punch in. You know what I mean? Like I don't like punching in every single bar because I feel like the way that I rap, you'll be able to definitely tell.
Okay.
However, like I said, I'd be freestyling. I'd hear the bars and I'd be like, I like those. Let me take those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then boom, put them into the rest of the verse or whatever. So.
Do you approach every song like that when you're gonna create? Like, do you approach it like, all right, I want to talk about this, so I'm gonna write about this, or do you really already have bars that you have written down?
Nah, every beat I have like a set of lyrics too. Like I don't really like putting lyrics over different beats as well. Although I feel like the art of music is pretty easy to do that. Like as far as hip hop goes, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
As far as like the BPM or the cadence or whatever, but I just don't like doing that because it's just weird for me. You know what I mean? Like you guys might not even understand it all. You guys won't even hear it, but like me, I'll always hear the beat that I rapped it on, or the beat that I wrote it to, rather than the beat that I rapped it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And what about touring, bro? Do you have like what's in the future, bro? You looking to tour later down the road, or what's going on?
Yeah, most definitely. So the future, what I want to do, my main goal for probably August, September time, every weekend I want to go to a different college and I want to just go out there and promote. You know what I mean? Whether we're going to colleges in the Midwest or UCLA or anywhere, you know what I mean? Just travel, go out, you know what I mean? Even the ones over here, go to UConn, go to Brown, even so close in the state, you know what I mean? We have
There's a lot of colleges out
you know what I
here.
mean? We have an Ivy League school on top of some of the most prestigious schools, you know what I mean, in the country. So that's my main goal. I want to tap in with the colleges, you know what I mean? I feel like the colleges, those are the kids that I feel like support the most because they know what it's like, and B, they understand, you know what I mean, and they appreciate it a little bit more.
And they're also figuring out who they are,
exactly,
and who they want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
how important is it to you for people to relate to your music?
That's the key. That's the main goal. Because I don't. Obviously, there's some songs like 9799 that are just personal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody obviously is going to go through exactly what you go through. But then there's songs like Never Enough, you know what I mean? No matter how much you give in this world, it's just never enough. Or no matter how much you take, it's never enough. Or everybody, I feel like, feels, I'm sure you guys can both remember the last time you guys felt like whatever you did was just not enough, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you looked at your fucking last paycheck and the shit wasn't enough. You're like, God damn, you know what I mean? Like anything, everything. Whether what aspect. So it's a little bit of that. So you'll get a 9799 where you'll get me, you know what I mean, in detail, and then you'll get a Never Enough where it could relate to 80% of the world. So
hell yeah, bro.
I'm with that.
Now, do you want to be the type of artist that's known for storytelling, or do you want to be the type of artist that's known for freestyling or creating diss tracks, or what kind of artist do you want to be remembered for?
I feel like, I don't know, it's tough because the art of hip hop nowadays, as far as the freestyle, like the freestyling's cool, the battle rap's cool, the yada yada yada. But it's like the industry, the music industry, is a career in itself. You know what I mean? So you'll have the people like the Cassidys who do both, you know what I mean? Or the Arsenals who have a little bit of both. Like Arsenal probably makes way more money battle rapping than he's ever made off of a song he's ever made. You know what I mean? He got more recognition off of battle rapping than he has off of making a song, you know what I mean? He has a lot of songs. He has drops albums and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And except for the exceptions of Cassidy, who, you know what I mean, was probably, he was with Swiss and he was making songs and hits before he was going heavy with the battle rapping, you know what I mean, as far as with the Smack DVD and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I say all that to say I'd most likely want to just sit in the creative category, you know what I mean? Like a Kendrick Lamar, or like a J. Cole, you know what I mean? Like those guys they have great bodies of work, they have great singles, you know what I mean? They've made a great living off of their music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have songs that will last forever, you know what I mean? They got songs that only their core fan base has ever heard, you know what I mean? And then they got songs that people, you know what I mean, that don't like their music probably like, you know what I mean? So I don't really want to get put in a box of like a battle rapper or a freestyler, because I feel like that all comes with just being a hip hop artist.
Right.
Whether what branch you want to go off, I feel like that kind of narrows you down. But yeah, I'd rather just be in the industry and create, you know what I mean? Create albums, create singles, create hits, create memories, you know what I mean? And yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years in the industry as an artist?
Definitely on tour. At least I've done a few tours, you know what I mean? And definitely, it's so crazy because looking back like 5 years ago, I thought like where I am now was like, and it's not that I'm even close to where I want to be, but where I am now as far as recognition, as far as the love that I get, and as far as the music that I made was unattainable, you know what I mean? I felt like just people coming from where I come from don't, you know what I mean? They don't, it's just crabs in a barrel, you know what I mean? Like Hope said, why are crabs in a barrel? They're not supposed to be in a barrel, you know what I mean?
Right.
So back to your thing, 3 to 5 years from now, I definitely see myself with a couple tours under my belt, and just consistently doing what I'm doing right now is putting music out. Hopefully the fan base has grown.
I think that's the key too. Is like
It's
growing your
fan
your
base
song list
exactly
to have something to put out.
and the
That's your
catalog.
output.
Yep.
Exactly, the catalog. I
And
hear
that's
that a lot.
exactly. So just doing what we've been doing and building the catalog. So like 3 to 5 years from now, would I be happy if, you know what I mean, we've quadrupled the fan base, we've put out, you know what I mean, 3 to 5 projects, we've done a lot of collaborations with a lot of other artists. Yeah, I'd be happy with it for sure. Am I chasing the highest level of what the hip hop world could bring me, for lack of a better statement? I feel like yes, you know what I mean? Like I feel like subconsciously I'm chasing the highest level, but would I be content with less? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows where 3 to 5 years would take me? Although I think about it, I try not to like base everything around too far in the future. Although obviously you have to plan, but preparation can only take you so far, and then you got to take a leap of faith. So
Right.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
What's your top 5 original songs that you love listening to?
mine.
Yep.
Never Enough is definitely one. I perform that probably every time that I like Never Enough. I like Final Hour on Perspective. I like
What do you like about Never Enough?
It's definitely relatable. Like you were saying earlier.
relatable, and then I feel like hook wise and stuff, like that's the type of music that is really gonna catch the ears, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Never Enough, just quick little like melodic You know what I mean? You say never enough 3 times. It's supposed you say something 3 times. I think it, you know what I mean. It stays in the air or whatever. So it's like songs like that.
Very good hook.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Songs like that are simple but still, you know what I mean, have some detail.
Yeah, your hooks are very strong, bro.
Thank you, bro.
And that was one of the things T-Pain said in the video.
He did, and that's what I loved about the situation because the only downfall was something I had. I mean, not that I had no control over. Obviously, I picked the beat and I love the beat. But he said he just wishes the beat wasn't so old school.
Yeah, like
He's
Wu-Tang.
like, he's like, this kid got wild potential. He raps his ass off. His kid's nice. I fuck with it. I fuck with it a lot. I just wish the beat wasn't as Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
He just compared the beat to Wu-Tang, so I'm like, cool. Like I'm you know what I mean? Like it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like he said like, oh nah, the beat's garbage. You know what I mean? He just said it's outdated. You know what I mean? Which it's like, all right, cool. That's what I love. Maybe let me try to fall back from that a little bit and let's go a little bit more of a nowadays type of vibe because I say it all the time. I'm caught up and I'm in love with just the old school feel, you know what I mean? Like I want to pull up with my car and T-shirts and CDs in the trunk, you know what I mean, to these shows and stuff, you know what I mean? Like the street team type vibe. I'm not with the TikTok antics and the, although I know you have to do it, it's very tough to try to like go down that. And I do the freestyle videos and stuff on camera and that's cool, but like, I don't know, like I don't use social media to my full advantage as much as I want to because I'm such an old soul. Like I'd much rather, like I said, like just get in your face, pause, and just, you know what I mean, and just be right there. You know what I mean? Stand right in front of you. You know what I mean? And just be right there. So
yeah. A few more questions. What can you tell upcoming artists? What advice can you give upcoming artists?
Stay consistent. That's the main thing is stay consistent and just try to be yourself because everybody's caught up with trying to sound like somebody else and that's cool, you know what I mean? But that's only going to get you so far. Your card's going to get pulled, you know what I mean? And you're only as good as your last at bat. So it's like if you are trying to chase something, you know what I mean? And you slowly end up copying a facade and then you can never do that again, but you just, you know what I mean, people love you for the facade you just copied. It's like, oh shit, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know what I mean? But if you're yourself, then like you're just always yourself. People just either love you or hate you for it, you know what I mean? Like they just love you or they hate you for it, you know what I mean?
Right. What's the artists that you're listening to that influenced you in 2024?
It's tough. Like, I don't really listen to too many like new artists. Although like I'd like to stay tapped in. In my rotation, I got Nipsey.
Yep.
I got Ab-Soul.
I get that vibe too.
Schoolboy
off your flow sometimes, like that Nipsey vibe.
Yeah, fire.
Yeah.
Schoolboy Q just dropped the tape. I've been banging that.
Yeah.
Obviously Cole.
Yeah.
Cole.
How do you feel about him apologizing?
I was about to say, although as an MC, I don't agree with. The main thing that I don't like is you put it out, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then, like, when you put it out, like, the things you were speaking about just didn't sit well with me. Like, how you going to come at Kendrick Lamar's catalog?
Yeah. And
then another thing is, like, you said he dropped 4 albums in 12 years. Like, bro, you dropped 6 in 12 years. Like, you dropped 2 more, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like you were as consistent as Drake where you're dropping 1 every year or 2, you know what I mean? So it's like, and I love Cole. That's my, you know what I mean? That's my GOAT.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you ever hear that saying where it was like, it's better to be thought of as an idiot rather than open your mouth and remove all doubt. It's like I kind of feel like he should have just said nothing and then kept it mystique, and then everybody would have just kind of been like, oh, because really it's between Kendrick and Drake. You know what I mean? That's where the real animosity is. So you're stepping in, and then it's like you don't even want that. You know what I mean? And people are making it seem like Cole ain't ready for that or you know what I mean, have that in him. Like, of course he's lyrically capable and, you know what I mean, like talented enough to be able to come at both of these guys, if not better, you know what I mean? Like, come on now. However, if it don't sit right with your soul, how can you be mad at that man? You know what I mean? Like, how can you be mad at that man because he retracted something that did not sit well with his spirit?
And I kind of respected that.
And that's the only thing where I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? It's like, but I just don't like the whole discrediting. Like, I understand it's like, you what, he's not top 3. He was top 3 2 days ago, but then he apologized and now he's not top 3. Like, the quality of music is still there. You know what I mean? It's just like he's just falling back from a sparring match between these two cats because clearly the beef is thicker between them two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like he said in Middle Child. He said something like, I never beef with a nigga for nothing. If I smoke a rapper, it's gonna be legit. Like if you got real beef with somebody, it makes it interesting.
Yeah,
of course.
Kendrick and Drake seems like they got a little bit of, you know what I mean, a little bit of tea on each other. Right. So it's like, but what's Cole gonna really say to somebody that he has nothing but the utmost respect for? You know what I mean? Right. So it's like, I just feel like he was corny for even dropping it.
Yeah.
And if he did that speech or that apology after he didn't drop it, like if he didn't drop it and he was like, I'm gonna stay out of this because I got nothing but love and respect, yada yada, everybody would have been like cool with it. I feel like everybody would have been like, this is J. Cole, you know what I mean? This is what we expect. Cole's never been on a tip where he's been on no gangster shit, you know what I mean? It's like, but it was the fact that he dropped it and then retracted. Like I can't respect that move as an MC or an artist because I would never do that. So.
Right.
If I'm saying it, I'm standing on it, and that's a fact.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
So Cole, Schoolboy Q,
Nip.
I love Nipsey.
Two more.
Nip's my guy. I'm not gonna throw Hove in there, although Hove's an everyday play.
Right,
you know what I mean?
What's your favorite album from Hove? Blueprint?
It could be Blueprint. It could be Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
It could be the Black Album. I feel like it depends on like the time, maybe.
Yeah.
My time. But Blueprint, yeah, classic. You know what I mean?
Jay-Z.
Who else is in my phone right now? I listen to a lot of Mac Miller as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I like Mac.
Yeah.
I like a lot of. It's weird because it's going all the way left, but I like Michigan music. You know what I mean? B.F.B., the Pac-Man. I like Peasy, Bralo. And yeah, I mean, we can keep going, but yeah, those are pretty much the guys, you know what I mean, that I like to stay in.
Who are some local guys that you...
Ty Cooper just dropped a new tape. Shouts to Ty. I was going to throw him in there too, but I didn't know if you guys wanted me to go local.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Ty's new tape. Shouts to Ty.
Yeah. Black Boys Deserve to Smile.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Jesse the Tree. That's one of my favorite guys. Obviously, Joe Bruce is hard.
Yeah. I like that song you guys have, Haunt Me.
Haunt Me. That's
Fire.
a joint. Yeah, shouts to Joe Bruce. Zach, obviously my guy Zach's always working hard, always making it shake.
Yeah.
No Diddy.
I don't think that's ever gonna go away. Not for a long time, bro.
Yeah. Nah.
That's gonna stay alive for a while.
For sure.
No Diddy.
And my guy Jabubu. You know what I mean? Jabubu's hard. A lot of these cats, I listen to a lot of these guys. I know I'm missing a couple, but I got a lot of Rhode Island music in my rotation because although I kind of contradicted myself, none of these guys should be my friends. You know what I mean? We should be trying to take their head up. Now I'm playing. Shouts to Tom Brady. But I love all these guys, man. You know what I mean? Like, they're just genuine good dudes. You know what I mean? Like, Ty Cooper's such a solid dude. Zach, Joe Bruce, Jabubu. All these guys are just dope. Jesse. Fliz. Shouts to Fliz. Chachi Carvalho, my OG.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So...
Last question. What's advice, right, you could give your younger self? Like, you know how sometimes if I knew back then about this right now, I kind of could have projected my path differently.
Start putting your music out early in high school. Don't smoke as much weed.
Right.
For real though.
Yeah.
Because that would have just made me a lot more focused. And I feel like everything else would have came. But yeah, I'd say that. Put your music out earlier. Don't smoke a bunch of weed. And try to stay disciplined. You know what I mean? Build a routine and stick to it. Do everything you were doing. Just try to figure it out earlier.
All right, man. There you have it. That was the Everything and Anything podcast where we talk about everything and anything. And we out.
We out.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chach. We on the Everything and Anything podcast, and we are performing live Rotate featuring Chachi off my last album, The Intermission. I've been meaning to read that book, but I just never have the time. Need to brush up on these keys, but I just never have the time. I've been meaning to pay that bill, but I just never have the time. But still I keep it real, for that I always have the time. I've been meaning to write that song, but I just never have the time. Meaning to mow the lawn, but I just never have the time. I'm trying to find something to eat, but I just never have the time. But still I'm smoking weed, for that I always have the time. See, as the world rotates, I'm jotting rhymes as my mind does too. Freestyle for hours all alone, just trying to find my groove. And usually it don't take much, it's just a part of my muse. And I keep it 90 all the time, plus the 5 times 2. You're not like me, and well, I am not like you. I caught that from the jump early, learning to tie my shoes. That was back, round the time we ain't abide by rules. But we older, the stakes are higher, got a lot more to lose. I said rules, we'd always break them. They thought was our coded language, really just the beginning of goals that we almost tainted. Chilling around some people that's doing nothing but hanging like the chain that's getting snatched. Just the moment before the pavement is soaking up all the blood that is pouring out of your brain. And your man is there trying to save you in a place where there ain't no saving. Does a painter paint the paint, or to show the world what he's painting? Just some thoughts that I dabble with on a daily. I've been meaning to read that book, but I just never have the time. Need to brush up on these keys, but I just never have the time. I've been meaning to pay that bill, but I just never have the time. But still I keep it real, for that I always have the time. I've been meaning to write that song, but I just never have the time. Meaning to mow the lawn, but I just never have the time. Trying to find something to eat, but I just never have the time. But still I'm smoking weed, for that I always have the time. For that I always have the time. It's Chach. For that I always have the time.